Good morning. So, we continue with the purpose of government intervention. Yesterday we talked about indirect taxes. Indirect taxes comes as a result of government trying to correct market failure based on negative externalities. Negative externalities are external costs, the cost to the people, the cost to the third party. You know, we have external costs, we have private cost. Private cost is the cost that you incurred. External cost is the cost that others incurred based on your own action. So as soon as the cost increases, the cost of the external cost increases, government would want to correct it, because if external cost increases, it leads to market failure. So that is why government will impose indirect taxes. There's a past paper for that anyway. As soon as we're done, I'll talk about it. But today, our focus is on subsidies. Firms pollute the air. We talked about, stop writing please. Firms pollute the air. We talked about it yesterday. Stop writing. We talked about it yesterday. So not all firms will pollute the air. Some firms are producing goods that are beneficial to the society. So what will government have to do? Government cannot increase tax for them, because if government increases tax, they won't be able to produce goods that are beneficial to the society. So government wants to encourage them. For government to encourage them, government will come up with subsidies. Subsidies will reduce the cost of production for firms. Yes.
Can I go talk to
Yeah, sure. Subsidies will reduce the cost of production for firms. Then they will be able to increase their production of external benefits. So that's why I said here, government usually provides subsidy for goods with positive externalities and to correct information failure. A lot of people are missing out on information because they don't have they cannot afford information. Information is expensive. I believe you know what I'm talking about here. To get information sometimes is expensive. Education is information. It's informative. You have to pay to get it, yes or no? So because you lack information about education, you might not be able to take the right decision that would suit your welfare in terms of education. So government might subsidize so that we can have information accessible, affordable. That is what they're saying here. So government will subsidize for education to make it affordable, infrastructure, disease management and land conservation. On the aspect of information failure, government will subsidize so that those suffering for lack of information, they have access to it. With subsidy, the cost of production falls. Goods and services become affordable. Because it becomes affordable, it means you and I can buy at a cheaper price. We won't be lacking information. We will be able to take the right decision at the right time. That is what subsidy is all about. What are the problems about subsidy? Yesterday we said indirect taxes are its problem. Subsidy is encouragement for production, yes. Subsidy encourages external benefits, yes. But it has its own setbacks. It has its own problems. The first problem about subsidy is, one, they may be difficult to execute, as subsidies might be too large or too small to correct market failure. Same as indirect taxes. Yesterday I said indirect taxes might be too large or too small to correct market failure. What does this imply? It implies that government is an institution. It's there. It makes laws, policies to control the society. But governments are not economists. They are not entrepreneurs. So they might lack information to understand the consequences of things they do. So government might want to correct market failure, or government might want to encourage positive externality, but the amount spent to encourage positive externality is too much. If it is too much, that's excess. It's misallocation of resources. If it is too less or too low or too small, it is not even enough. So you want to correct a problem, but the amount of money available for you or to you to correct it is not enough. You won't be able to correct the problem. That is the point here. They may be difficult to execute. Subsidy might be too large. If it is too large, it becomes a waste. That's misallocation of resources, market failure. If it is too small, it's not enough. Then it cannot solve the problem we want to solve. It might happen because government is not an economist. Government is an institution. So they might lack information about how to go about subsidy. That's the first problem. The second one, subsidies might conflict with other policy objectives, such as low taxes or reducing government deficits. When government subsidizes, it means government is spending. Subsidy means government spending. So if government is spending, it might mean that there's going to be opportunity cost. Government spending on maybe education might mean that government will not be able to spend on healthcare. Get the point here? What we're saying here is that there's conflict. If government is spending on education, government might not be able to spend on healthcare. So those that need healthcare won't be able to get subsidy on it. They have to pay higher prices. But those that need education would benefit from it. So that means one part benefits, other parts do not benefit. That is conflict. Do we understand what conflict here? Do you understand conflict is? The third one, subsidies might be difficult to remove. People who enjoy it witness increase in their incomes. As a result, they may lobby government not to remove it, which means projects that might be executed through public funding might be abandoned. The third problem about subsidy is that it might be difficult to take away. I'm getting the news that the Libyan government wants to remove subsidy on fuel. Do you hear about the news? The pump price, the amount you pay on fuel, it's less here. Oh, yeah. So I'm hearing the news that government wants to remove subsidy from it. So if government removes subsidy, it means the pump price increases. Do you get it? So government might not be able to do it. Maybe there are people that enjoy it might lobby the government not to do it. But government does not just want to subsidize or remove subsidy on fuel. Government wants to do it to execute public finance. So listen, what I'm saying is this. I'm making a typical example of the Libyan government. I heard the news that they want to remove subsidy from fuel. If government removes subsidy from fuel, the pump price increases. Government does not just want to do it. Government has a reason for doing it. Maybe the government of Libya wants to start investing or financing infrastructure, which is lacking. But for government to finance infrastructure, government has to take subsidy away. Because subsidy on fuel is for the rich. If you don't have a car, you can't buy fuel. So those that have cars are those that can afford it. They are considered rich. So it's a way government wants to reduce the amount spent on fuel. Because those that have cars, those that own cars, can literally afford to pay for pump price. So if government removes subsidy on pump price or fuel, they might use it on education, they might use it on healthcare, they might use it on infrastructure. But those that are enjoying it might lobby to government not to reduce it, not to remove subsidy. And if government cannot remove subsidy, government might not be able to finance education. Government might not be able to finance healthcare. Government might not be able to finance infrastructure. So that's the problem. Subsidy is good, but to take it away becomes a problem. Because those that enjoy it would not want government to take it away. Why? Because subsidy means you are increasing your income. What you are supposed to spend $7 on, you're spending $3 on it. That means you have $4 additional kept to you. So subsidy literally increases your level of income. As a result, you wouldn't want government to take it away. Because as soon as government takes subsidy away, your level of income will fall. You have to pay the full amount on goods and services. So that's all about subsidy. I think it's clear.